How's it? My name's Gordon, and today we're going to talk about strings, more specifically string concatenation, string builders, and other ways that we can build up different strings. And when I started coding, I used to build up my strings like this. Basic string concatenation, where you take one string, you add another string to it, and you add another string to it. Now, this isn't the best way to write strings. Now, another way you can do it, which is a little bit better, is you can use string.format. And with string.format, we pass in a message template, and then you can see that this is a placeholder for the first element that comes in over here. And say if we had datetime.now, we could go and place that in here as the second parameter that gets passed in. Now, a shorthand for this was made a couple of C# versions ago, which looks similar to this. Now, when this first came out, under the covers, that's compiled to string.format. And then a couple of versions later, they optimized that so that there's a string interpolator, and that does this work a lot more efficiently than what the string.format does. Now, the problem with all of these methods is it doesn't really help you when you need to loop through some data to build up a string. So the other way we can do this is if we have say a message builder, and that is a string builder. Now, using the string builder, if we were to build up that same pattern as above, it does look a little bit more tedious because we'd have to go message builder.append hello, and then message builder.append name, and then message builder.append exclamation mark. So on the surface, this looks a lot more messy, but if we have to put this in a loop, we can do a lot more of these a lot more efficiently. Now, there is another method on here that's generally used quite a lot, and that's append line. All append line is your normal append, and then you append after that an append with a environment new line. If we take a look at the source for it, so if we just go to .NET string builder append line, there we go. And we look up this method that takes in the string, which is what we're looking at the moment. You can see there the append appends the value and then appends a new line, like I was saying. The reason this is more performant is that this does some memory magic to move strings around instead of creating whole new strings. But we're not going to talk much more about that. What I thought I wanted to do is just cover a quick test to show you the performance differences of using, say, a string builder versus string concatenation. So over here, I have a very small benchmark. You can see we start off with an empty string. We then loop 1,000 times, and we just add that number to string to the result, and then we return the result. And then in the second example here, we do the exact same thing, but in this case, we just use append each time. So the end result of both these will be the same, but the results of how this runs is very interesting. Now, to go and use that, we'll need to call the benchmark runner, and we'll just tell it to run that test there. And next, what we're going to do is just run .NET run in the release configuration and let this run all those tests. So something that we are doing that's worth mentioning here is I've added the memory diagnoser attribute here, which means that in the output results, we won't only get how long it took to run the method, because obviously this is a very small method. It's the amount of time that it takes is very minimal in this use case, but the memory usage is very different between these two use cases. Okay, now that this is finished, you can see that the amount of time, the mean time for each sort of loop to run for the string builder is significantly faster than doing the string concatenation. And if you look at the memory usage, the overall memory usage of the string builder is a much lower as well. So that's all I wanted to show you for string builders. I hope you learned something new. If you have some other cool tips about string builders or just string manipulation in general that you want to share, please leave them down in the comments. And until next time, cheers.